Here we go, and we are live. Finally. Sorry about the delay, everyone. Uh, Hello, Najmi. How are you doing tonight?
Hi, Othmane. How are you doing?
Very good, very good. Very nice to see you this evening.
Yeah,
Uh,
nice to see you too. Sorry about the delay. It's all
no,
my.
no worries. I totally understand. I totally understand. Family first, Najmi. Always. Family comes after
Yes.
all. Always, always. So nice to
Yeah.
have you here live on Facebook, Najme. So for those watching, Najme is an absolute rock star in the digital.
Oh, thanks.
I'm so happy to get to have this interview with you, Najme, tonight. Najme is a mother of two, a financial advisor, an amazing professional artist. You can see her art in the background, and above all, a digital business owner, a successful one. She started her online business back in September 2020, I believe. And right now she's on maternity leave and she runs a very successful internet based business. Many moons ago, Najme, you came here in Canada from Iran. So please share with us your adventure. What brought you to Canada? How it all started for you? Up to becoming an online business owner.
Okay, well, thank you so much for the introduction, and thank you so much for having me. I'm so happy to have you in my page because we're live in my pages and your page too. So, hello everyone who's watching us live or replay. And Othman, he started his business not long ago, and but he's doing amazing. He's a construction project manager, and he's so good. He's so passionate, and he has a big reason, big why. And I'm so happy that you're here in this journey together.
Thank you.
As you mentioned, yeah, I started my business about 14 months ago, and for the main reason that I started my business was my kids. I wanted to have more quality time with them, and also spend more time on my art. It was a little bit hard, doing it, having a full-time job and kids, and so then there wasn't any time, for see their milestones and all those like sweet moments that all the kids have. And because I was working full time, 9 to 5, as many other people, they have the same thing. And then, sending my daughter to daycare, and just picking her up around like 5ish and go home and have dinner. And so it was a lot of like, just rush in the morning and everything. And then, I did my art degree at University of Calgary, but it was very I couldn't even find any job related to my degree. So then I decided to actually go find a job with my economic background. And I was financial advisor for almost 6 years. And but you worked in like corporate jobs, so it's very stressful. I had such a high targets and everything. I have my son here. I say
Baby, hello. You're live. You're live with us.
hello, I made it. So
That's
this
the
is
beauty of this business. It brings
being
you.
your own boss. You can have your you can have your kids in the meeting and everything.
Absolutely. That's the beauty of this business.
Yes,
You
yes, yeah.
have you have the time freedom, and it allows you to be closer and give quality time to your family, especially when you have little ones growing.
Yes,
It's the best time to be next to them and grow with them, right? So
yes, yeah, exactly. Yes.
definitely, this business allow you to have that time freedom and put your family first.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Okay, I turned it off. Sorry.
I love it. I love it. It's all good. Love it. Yeah. So
So this is life. Yes.
that's the beauty of being live.
Actually, you know what, Othman? I'm following this lady. She's so amazing on Instagram. She's a mom of three, but she's a blogger. And today she had this very nice post in Instagram that, she just posted very nice pictures of her family and everything, the things that she posts on Instagram. And then she said, but, in the back, back, the scene is just like a messy house and everything. I said, yeah, I totally understand that.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm my own boss. I'll do whatever I want.
Yes. Well, yeah.
It's
So
all good. It's all good. Totally
yes,
understand.
yeah,
So, yeah.
yeah. So
So
anyhow, yeah, my vibe was very big. Like I just wanted to have that freedom and spend more time on my art, because I was so passionate about my art, but unfortunately I couldn't find any job related to that. And then when I saw this opportunity, I thought maybe it's something that I can explore more. And then I just put that fear aside, and I started that because I saw that with that potential, the business had, that this digital business had, I could achieve, my dreams. I could be closer to my dreams, and that's how I started.
yeah. So that's an amazing actually segue. So what actually made you choose this type of business? What actually convinced you to join and provide this type of service? That
Yeah, because as you know, there's so many other online businesses. I was thinking about like doing anything like with Amazon, Shopify, things like that. And then I started doing some research, but it was such a vague information. It was like an ocean with 1 inch depth. to
Mhm.
to do like any research or anything like that. And I didn't want to risk too much, because I wasn't like, I didn't have much in investment to do or anything like that. And then my time was limited too, because I was working full time at that time. I was pregnant with my son, so it was a lot of things going on, and I didn't have that much time to do research or anything like that. And I was looking for like maybe 2 years, like because I knew everything is going online,
Mhm.
and I wanted to have something, another, beside my full-time job. And I tried different things, like I was doing some photography, doing like just small businesses, but nothing was working, because I didn't know what I was doing. I needed direction, and that was missing. So when I found this system that it has everything built into it, it has all the training, it has the mentorship, it has like it's online. I don't need to be worried about like inventory, finding products, finding the vendors, and it was so convenient. And that's those things, it was so attractive that I said, yeah, this is the business that I've been looking. Where was it this whole time? Yeah. So
Absolutely, yeah. It's definitely this system, like you said, it gives you the foundations, right? It gives you that
mhm,
baseline you can start with and get things forward, push things forward,
yeah,
and it grows so fast. The internet is an infinite pool of reach. You
mhm,
can engage so many people on the internet, and many people can relate to your story or other people's story. Like we all come from different walks of life, right?
yes,
So and definitely this system has the foundation, and you really don't need to be tech savvy, because you learn as you go, like and you learn about like digital marketing, create like a branding, attraction marketing, like and you start creating a name for you, you start creating a network, and at the same time, what's gratifying about this is that you help other people, right? You help
Mhm.
other people grow and get out of their, get out of their day-to-day problems, right?
Mhm.
And just that is just a good feeling to have.
Yes.
Not only you're helping yourself, and you're like you said, you have your why, right? You have your reasons why you're joining this business, but
Mhm.
at a point at a time you start helping others, and that's just amazing. And then, like I said, it's so many people. It's worldwide. It's a community, right?
Yes.
And the community just keeps growing and growing and growing.
Exactly.
And
Yeah. And why did you choose to become business owner as well, like having an online business?
yeah, for sure, I can share that. Like, I mean, we already had the discussion in the past, but really, is that financial freedom, right? To me is uh, it's different than being financially independent, right? Because when you're financially independent, you kind of live with certain limits, where you have a financial freedom. It's limitless, right? And money becomes a tool, right? And you're
Mhm.
not limited by your day-to-day job, right? And you start reaching your dreams, or instead of like chasing them and saying, oh my god, I cannot do this because I'm limited by this, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like I said, like the internet and this business will allow me to reach my goals, right? And in my mind, like trust me, I love my job. Like I'm very passionate about my job.
Mhm.
And it's not something I would let go, right? But if I'm able to supplement my income, if I'm able to to grow my income, and have a passive income that will allow me to do what I want to do in life, and reach and dream big. Well, this is allowing me to do that,
Hmm.
definitely.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because especially like me, having the financial advisor experience, I've seen so many people like they come and they're mostly living paycheck to paycheck, no dream at all, and they just think that's it, that's how it should be, and that's a norm, and that's how the society thinks that we should do it. But there are so many other ways that you can have income, have a legitimate income, because it is important to have a something legal something that is taxable. And you don't have it with all the other businesses. And it was like one of the things that it was so important to me was something that is taxable, something that I can declare my tax. And because I always tell people that you have to be a good citizen, you have to pay your taxes. And so it was one of the main factors for me to make sure that I'm not doing something wrong, and because I didn't want to have bad reputation or anything like that. So it was it's legal, it's global, as you said, it's fun, you're learning so much. And why not, like yeah.
It's definitely a legitimate business. Like this is not. This is like at the end of the year, you're gonna receive your tax slip, right? And you work for your money, right? And it's not. You have in this business, you have it's not a quick scheme make money kind of thing, right? You have to be
Exactly.
perseverance. You have to be consistent, right?
Yes.
And you have, but you have the tools to learn. That's the beauty.
Hmm.
You have the tool. They give it to you. And like I said, I'm not after the money. Like money for me is a tool, right?
Yeah,
What
exactly.
money is it's what I'm after, the freedom that comes with money, right?
Mhm.
And at my age, and by the way, talking about age, this is made for everyone. Everyone, like I see, in
Exactly.
our community, we have like retirees, we have students, we have young professionals, we have um, like workers, construction workers, nurses, all type of people from
Everybody.
right. That's the beauty of it, right? That's
Yes.
what the beauty of the community, and yeah, that so I'm actually well in, and we're learning so much. Like I said, just mentioned, we're learning so much.
And we're learning, from each other. We're helping each other. It's not there like no competition. Everyone, it's a very, very positive community actually.
Yes, we're all partners, right? No one
Mhm.
works for one another, right? We're all partners, right? We're all on the same team, right? We
Mhm.
all bring each other forward and
Yes,
onward and upward, right?
exactly.
It's beautiful, yeah, definitely. So we talked about the tools of this business, but how how do you do it? How do you use those tools to your advantage to be so successful?
Well, because so the thing is, like, this automated system that we have, it's made by the leaders of the industry. So the leaders that they made this automated system, they're Canadian based, and they've been doing the online businesses for years. So they gathered all their knowledge, all their experiences and everything to build this amazing, amazing system that it's world class. It has everything that you need in it. It has the business mindset, it has the personal growth mindset, it has all the marketing tools and everything. And I think those are the things that it just makes it so different and so easy. As soon as, like, as long as you are coachable, you're positive, you follow the training step by step, then it's fine, like, because somebody before you did all the steps and got results. And why not you? Like, everyone is the same, so everyone, they're just following the same steps and getting results. And it's very rewarding, and it's very fun. It's so much fun. Even, like, me having like kids, so many people, they said, oh my god, I don't know how you do it. But it is possible, because first of all, I have a big why, I have a big motivation to do it. And secondly, it's so flexible, and I can work around my family's schedule. I don't need to, like, wake up to the alarm clock and I said, oh my god, like, I have to do this or that. I'm my own boss. I can do whatever I want. I want to have live, I just say, okay, this time works for me, let's do it. It's not like, I'm not sacrificing any of my family time. I'm just working around my family's schedule and using all the tools that we have, and it's available to all of us in the business. And just, learning by doing and experiencing different things. And um, yeah, I think that's how I do it. And you're working full time too, so you have,
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah,
Listen,
so
the
you
beauty
have
of
a limited time.
but the beauty of this business is because you can do it anytime and anywhere you want. You can do it at your own convenience, right? So
Exactly.
whether you want to do it after work or before work, or and also you can automate it. That's the beauty of
Mhm.
working on the internet, right? You can schedule
Yes.
things ahead of time. You can brand yourself ahead of time. You can schedule your content ahead of time, right? And
Yes.
again, all of that is in the training, right? If you're not used to like Facebook or YouTube or any other platform, all of that is like there is a step-by-step training for you.
Yeah.
And again,
Yeah,
like
there's so many people, Othman, there, when I talked to them, they said, oh my God, I'm not a social media person. I don't know how to do this. Or I said, I didn't even know either. I didn't know the power of Facebook. I didn't know the power of YouTube. And I'm learning every day. Yes, I'm a coach, but I'm still learning every day. And there's so many things to explore. There's so many things. And don't limit yourself. And this is my advice always, like, to people, that just don't limit yourself. Don't be like, don't have the fear of failure, because if you don't start, you never know if it's gonna work for you or not. And Absolutely. Like, the system is so amazing that you can start without even having any knowledge and still be successful.
Yes, you just have to take that leap of faith, right? This is like my favorite sentence. Take the leap of faith, believe that you can do it, right? Because
Yeah,
if it's easy to complain about our issues and we have like and not, but if you don't try, if you don't act on it, how are you gonna fix those issues, right? If you don't find a
yeah.
solution, right?
And then, no one is going to help you if you don't.
Exactly, absolutely.
That's the thing. And if nothing changes, nothing changes. So you should do something, especially, with COVID. Again, working, in the banking industry. Oh my goodness, Othman, I was like, some days that I was even crying with my clients because, they were, the business were shut down and like, they lost their job or like, things like that. And it just like this is a backup plan, this is a plan B for many people. And everything is online, and why don't you take advantage of all these like social media platforms that for me, like for example myself, I was spending so much time on just Instagram and Facebook, just scrolling up and down up and down without any reason, just like to see what's going on and things like that. But now I'm so like I know what I want. I have my everything is scheduled. Everything is like I'm not even wasting time. Even if I'm commenting on something, it's for a reason. So there are just so many things that like it has changed. And it can be for, yeah, if you're watching, you can do it too as well.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And you said you were scrolling on Instagram. Yeah, we tend to like just scroll on Instagram, but now we're using the platform to our advantage because those platforms are so powerful to reach
So
people,
powerful. Yeah,
to
exactly.
motivate people, to have an audience, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then,
and
it opens, so many other opportunities too. Like right now, I'm so busy that I can do advertising for other companies. But like last night, I was talking to a lady, and then I was just telling her about. She called me actually for my art, and I said, yeah, I have this business. And then she said, oh, I have it. I have this business. Can you help me, like in my posts? And then so I said, well, I can't because I'm very busy right now, but I know someone in my community that she's really good, she does the same thing. And so I will connect those people together too. And so this is like a very good skill set that you will learn in this
absolutely.
community.
Absolutely, you can use this. Like what are we learning, and what it's a skill, it's a knowledge
Mhm.
that 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 actually you will pay so much money for.
Oh,
And
yes. Yeah. As I said, I was looking because again for my art, I was looking for to find something like how to even promote my art pieces. How do I do it? And with the Instagram or Facebook, they have just like this boost this post or something like
yeah,
that. So I did that, and I wasted so much time because I didn't know what I was doing. I was just like listening to Facebook, what they're suggesting to me. But now that like I learned so much about advertising. I know how to do it properly. I can just have do it for any business.
yeah,
And I always tell people that think as this business as going to a college, but then at the same time that you're learning, you're actually growing your business. So you're applying all the knowledge that you're learning to grow your business, and that's the beauty of it.
it's practical. It's
It is
100% practical,
practical.
and,
Yes.
and and there is a return, right? On the time you're
Yeah.
investing, there is actually a dollar value return.
Yeah.
So, and it's exponential, like forever growing, and that's
Yes.
the beauty about it. And like when I talk about it with people, I said once the rocket takes off, there is
Mhm.
no coming back. It's not gonna land anymore. You're there, man. You're there. That's so true.
I love it. Yeah, exactly. Yes, exactly like that.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
just
so I was talking to another friend, and she said, "Oh, like, are you gonna go back to after maternity leave?" I said, my business is growing really well. I don't know. I don't think so, but
you're considering,
are you worried about, like, retirement and stuff like that? I said, this business that I'm doing, it has the pension plan and everything, and the income, it just grows, as you said, and there is no going back. So it is going very well, and I'm sure, it's will growing much better. And so yeah, for some people that they're really interested to know, we have, live webinar Tuesdays, Thursdays at 8 p.m. Toronto time. And in that webinar, they always explain about this different online businesses and different things. And we're always here to answer your questions. But that's a 90-minute webinar. You have to watch it. If you don't have time to watch that 90-minute webinar, then it's not, this business is not for you, because you have to have the time to work on your business. And after watching that, if you have, if you're very serious, then you come to the trial.
yeah.
And in the trial, you will learn all about the business, all the, everything, every
And
detail.
all you need, Najmi, is really like a laptop and a smartphone. Like that's it.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah.
You don't need to invest on anything else. Like there is no overhead whatsoever, right?
Yeah.
And nowadays, everyone has a laptop and a smartphone, right?
Mhm.
Uh, Access to that. And just to conclude our discussion, Najmi, and thank you very much for taking the time tonight. I think it was a very productive discussion. Um, so what what advice so often what advice would you give to people that are on the edge, that are still have that fear of taking action? What I always say is we often avoid taking action because we think I need to learn more, but
Mhm.
the best way to learn more is by taking action, right?
Exactly.
So
Yes.
what advice would you give to those people that sit on the edge?
Well, I just add to what you said, and I say, there is no absolutely, you will not lose anything if you take action, because when you come to the trial is 30 days and it's 100% refundable. So you come and you do your own research and everything. And if this is, something that works with your lifestyle, that works with your family, then you will continue. If it doesn't, then you get your money back and you go. But at least you find out, what's this about. Like this today, I had this lady. She was just keep asking questions. I said, you know what? If you are interested to learn more, just come to the trial. Everything, all these questions that you have, it's in the trial. And then she said, why you're not even explaining? I said, because everything is video based, and when you come to the trial, you will see it by your own eyes. I can't even like say it in 5 minutes. So how can I even like explain a business plan in like 5 minutes?
Yes.
It's really, really funny sometimes that people say, yeah, just say it. It's like, you want to start a business, and then you ask for a business plan, and you ask that people to explain to you in 5 minutes. It's just not possible. So if you're interested to learn more, then you come to the trial. We're always there. Then we connect you with the big Facebook group, a very, positive, ever growing business group. You can ask all your questions. You can see all the income everyone making, and then do your own due diligence.
And you get connected for a pre coaching call, and you
Yes.
can ask any questions you want, and get informed, and have a better understanding of the strategy of this business. And like you said, the business, but it all starts with the webinar. It all starts with the complimentary webinar, because that's where you're gonna see clear. That's where you're gonna understand the story and what is this business is about.
Yes, yeah, exactly. Yeah, so my suggestion is, if you're looking for something that, gives you some extra money, if you're interested to learn, something new every day, if you want to have a better life for yourself and your, family, have a second plan, have a, plan A, whatever you're seeking, it has everything in it, and it's a complete package, and you will get full support, from your mentor and your coach. And just don't hesitate. It's just one, yeah, it's very simple.
It all start with the why. And
Exactly.
think
Yes.
about the golden circle. It's about the golden circle. It's the why, the how, and the what. And I think that's how I want to conclude our discussion tonight, Najmi. The
Yes.
golden
Yeah.
circle.
Yeah. The golden circle. Exactly. It starts with your why, and then it just ends to your why.
Yes, and then absolutely, absolutely. Well, Najmi, thank you for taking the time. I know you have a baby waiting for you.
Thanks God, my husband showed up.
And he did? Oh, amazing.
Well, thank you so much, Othman. It was very nice seeing you and talking to you, and all the best. Thank you so much for
Thank
everyone
you.
that's watching us tonight, or they're watching replay.
Okay. Bye bye. Thank you,
Bye.
everyone.